This video is introduction to equations. I'm going to give you the definition of equation, and also I'm going to give you some basic properties of an equation. So for example, we have something like this. And as you know, this is called expression. Once I add an equal sign to it and set it equal, let's say, to 6, the expression becomes equation. The main difference between expression and equation is that equation can be solved, expression can only be simplified or evaluated. If I have an equation and I don't have any variables, for example, instead of x, let's say we have 1, and we have this equation. This equation could be evaluated in terms of true or false. So if I simplify this side, I have 5 plus 1 equal 6, and I can evaluate this statement as a true statement. For example, if I had different equation, let's say I had 5 plus 4 minus 3 equal 7. I simplify this side, I have 5 plus 1 equals 7, and this is a false statement. So remember, the main difference between the equation and the expression is that equation has an equal sign, and whatever is on the left side of the equation is called left side of the equation, and whatever is on the right side of the equation is called right side of the equation. So you can think of the equation as a scale that is balanced. So whatever you have on the left side is equal to what you have on the right side. And the first property of the equation is the following. If we have an equation, let's say L is the left side and R is the right side, then adding a number to both sides of the equation is not going to change the equation. So to make sense out of this property, let's go back to our scale and let's think about it. If you add something to the left side of the equation, to the left side of the scale, in order for you to keep the balance, you have to add the same thing to the right side. This property of the equation is called addition property. The next property is multiplication property of an equation. So again, if we have a left side equal to the right side of the equation, we can multiply left side by some non-zero number and right side by the same non-zero number, and that multiplication preserves the equality of the left side and the right side. Let's do a couple examples. For example, we have 5 minus 2 equals to 3. This is an equation. If I add 2 to both sides, according to addition property, the equation has to be preserved. And we have 5 equals to 3 plus 2. This shows that equation was preserved after we added 2 to both sides. For example, we have 6 divided by 2 equals 3. This is an equation. If I multiply both sides of the equation by 2, and again that preserves the equation, and we can verify that 6 equals 3 times 2. With these properties, addition and multiplication, we can derive the next property, which is subtraction property, meaning that we can subtract same number from both sides of the equation, and we can also derive the division property that tells you that we can divide both sides of the equation by the same non-zero number. So pretty much every time you see an equation, you need to remember that there are only 4 things that you can do with them. You can either add the same number to both sides of the equation, you can multiply both sides of the equation by the same number, you can subtract the same number from both sides of the equation, and you can divide both sides of the equation by the same number. So whatever you do, it has to be one of these 4 things.